She has more confidence and she goes for her shots without any doubt, I would say.
This was definitely one of the bigger Filipino turnouts. Also, New York was huge. It also depends what court you're on, you know, that you feel the noise and things.
These tournaments are such great experiences for me, you know, especially playing in front of the best crowd ever. And
12 months ago, Alex Eala was ranked number 140. She had never won a main draw Grand Slam match. She had never beaten a top 10 player. She had never reached a WTA 1000 quarterfinal. Fast forward to this week, she's done all three. She's the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in WTA history, stretching back to 1975, and she just hit world number 31. Aryna Sabalenka went absolutely ballistic, and the timing of it all tells you exactly why.
And it's tennis, you know. Today you loser, tomorrow you winner. So hopefully I'll be more of a winner. She has more confidence and she goes for her shots without any doubt, I would say.
Sabalenka skipped both Qatar and Dubai, choosing to rest ahead of the Sunshine Swing. Smart decision, right? Except while the world number one was off the court, Eala was in Dubai dropping just one game in the entire opening set against Jasmine Paolini, outlasting Sorana Cirstea and forcing a draw structure at Indian Wells that now puts a seeded Eala directly in Sabalenka's potential path from round of 32 onwards.
I saw the other day with Alex Eala, you know, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. You know, there's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines.
Another wonderful win for Alexandra Eala. Thank you, Jasmine, she says. Paolini gracious as ever in defeat. The former champion is out. Alexandra Eala.
The draw for Indian Wells drops on March 2nd, today, right now. The collision course is already mapped out. The only question is whether Sabalenka expected to face this kind of threat before the quarterfinals. If this channel isn't already on your subscription list, fix that right now. You won't want to miss what's coming. Let's get into the full picture, because Eala's rise is shaking up the entire WTA landscape. Exactly 1 year ago, Alex Eala walked into the 2025 Miami Open ranked number 140 in the world. She entered as a wild card. Nobody outside the Filipino tennis community had a strong opinion about her. The draw looked brutal, the competition was elite. Then she beat Madison Keys, then she beat Iga Swiatek. Then she pushed Jessica Pegula to 3 sets in the semifinals before finally running out of steam. In 2 weeks, she had gone from a name most casual fans couldn't place to the most talked about young player in women's tennis. That Miami run wasn't luck. It was the first signal that something genuinely different was happening here.
Filipina tennis ace Alex Eala has officially broken into the WTA top 40. Alex Eala is set to compete in the singles and doubles events.
With energy like that, you don't get tired, so it was good.
And Alex, so good to have you out here for the first time. How special was that?
Having too much crowd on this or any other tennis tournament is a very good problem to have.
A player with mental composure far beyond her experience, who had been quietly grinding through ITF circuits and challenger-level events for years before getting her shot on the biggest stage. What came after Miami confirmed it wasn't a fluke. She reached the final of the Eastbourne Grass event in June. Then, in August at the 2025 US Open, she made history, becoming the first Filipino player ever to win a Grand Slam main draw singles match in the Open era, coming back from 1-5 down in the third set against number 14 seed Clara Towson to seal it in a tiebreak that took the crowd at Flushing Meadows to its feet.
oh, all the emotions are coming because the tension was so high, especially during that second set. She's a great opponent, obviously being top 10 and a former champion here. So to be able to compete with her at this level is a great achievement for me.
Everyone, I just wanted to come on here and thank every single one of you for your support, taking the time and effort out of your day to be there and cheer me on with the other girls. It means so much, especially at this time of the year. I couldn't thank you more, and I had such a fun time playing here in Auckland, and I hope I can be back next year.
She ended 2025 ranked number 50 in the world. At the time, that was the highest any Filipino tennis player had ever been ranked. She wasn't done. Aryna Sabalenka came into 2026 as the undisputed world number 1 with a stranglehold on the top of the rankings. She had won 4 Grand Slam titles and ended back-to-back years as the year-end number 1. The 2026 Australian Open final looked like her coronation. She built a 3-0 lead in the deciding set against Aryna Sabalenka. Then Sabalenka won 6 of the last 7 games and took the title 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. Sabalenka sat in her chair, draped a white towel over her head, and didn't emerge for a long time. It was a gutting defeat in a tournament she had come to own. After Melbourne, she had every reason to reset, rest, and come back hungry. She skipped both the Qatar Open and the Dubai Tennis Championships. The plan was clean: stay fresh, conserve energy, arrive at Indian Wells sharp and ready to go deep. Smart on paper.
Maybe we should just start messaging Nike, Instagram, and like putting some pressure on. But let's wait for 2027 because that year going to be sick. And yeah, unfortunately, next season it's not gonna be that special for me. But exactly.
While she was away, though, Alex Eala was busy dismantling the field in Dubai, dropping just 1 game in the entire opening set against number 8 Jasmine Paolini, outlasting Sorana Cirstea in 3 rounds and reaching the quarterfinals of a WTA 1000 event for only the 2nd time in her career. When the WTA rankings dropped on February 23rd, Sabalenka was still number 1. That part didn't change. What changed was the player sitting at number 31, seeded, for the first time in a WTA 1000 event and planted directly in the bottom half of the Indian Wells draw. The same half as Sabalenka. The draw structure at Indian Wells places seeds 25 through 32 against the top 8 seeds in the round of 32. That means if both players win their opening matches, Sabalenka's second match of the tournament could be against the 20-year-old Filipino who now generates 19 times more online viewership at press conferences than the world number 1 herself.
And now, she's made history in a major way. Not just for herself, but for her country and for the next generation watching.
She's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. You know, she's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country.
I'm really appreciative and super thankful.
That is exactly what Going Ballistic looks like. Not a screaming press conference, but a ranking sheet that quietly rewrites the tournament picture in a way nobody at the top of the bracket asked for. The Eala problem isn't just about one player's hot streak, it's the combination of elements converging at the worst possible moment. Sabalenka arrives at Indian Wells without competitive match play since the Australian Open final on January 31st. That is over a month without a match. Eala, by contrast, has played 6 tournaments already. In 2026, Auckland, the Australian Open, the Philippines Open, Qatar, and Dubai. She carries a 10-6 singles record on the season with 6 deep runs at WTA events over the last 11 months. She is match tight.
Most of the slams and tournaments, so I mean, it's a good sign. I mean, obviously we want more attention, more people coming and wanting to watch the tennis live and follow it and live stream.
The first set, forgettable from her point of view, but sets 2 and 3, she really did turn it on. As ever, Alexander.
Final shot that with a little complexity. Alexandra Eala breaking in the first game of the match.
Sabalenka, for all her quality, is walking back in cold. There is also the surface factor. Indian Wells is played on lay-cold hard courts, a surface with a slower bounce than most standard hard courts. It rewards consistent deep baseline play and strong defensive positioning. qualities Eala has developed into genuine weapons. Her left-handed serve creates angles that cause problems for right-handed returners who set up on the backhand side. The Paolini demolition in Dubai wasn't just about power, it was about tactical precision. Eala landed 73% of first serves and won 86% of first serve points in that opening set, numbers that would make any opponent uncomfortable, including the world number one.
This is going to go down the wire, but because of the week off from Eala, I think that she might be able to cause the upset here, and Paolini is not playing that great, and unlike the Alex Andreeva match in Abu Dhabi where Eala got overpowered, that's not going to be the problem here. So I'm going to go with Eala on a limb. It's not going to be easy, but I reckon that Eala might be able to just get a non-conf.
And then there is the crowd factor, which sounds soft until you look at the numbers. Dubai saw a 48% year-on-year jump in ticket sales when Eala entered the draw.
These tournaments are such great experiences for me, especially playing in front of the best crowd ever. And
At the Australian Open, Court 6 hit standing room only for her first match, with hundreds of fans watching from walkways above the court. Her Dubai press conference attracted 171,000 online viewers. Sabalenka's attracted 9,000. When Eala steps onto the Indian Wells courts, where the Filipino community in Southern California will descend in force, she will not be playing away from home. That psychological weight matters, particularly in a third-round match against a player who spent the last month training rather than competing. On the Nothing Major podcast, former ATP professionals Sam Querrey, Steve Johnson, and John Eisner debated what Eala's rise means for women's tennis as a whole. Johnson was unambiguous when asked whether Eala was already a bigger draw than Sabalenka and Coco Gauff. He replied yes without hesitation, adding that the scenes at every tournament she enters are unlike anything seen in women's tennis in years. Eisner pointed to the broader context.
Schedule, and maybe they could schedule him on a bigger court, yes, but again, she's so young and she's just coming through, so the big courts with big names, it's difficult. It's not easy to manage that, but again, it's a good problem to have, to be honest.
This was definitely one of the bigger Filipino turnouts. Also, New York was huge. It was tough because it also depends what court you're on, that you feel the noise and things.
The Philippines is a market of over 100 million people that had never produced a star at this level, and now they have one. The attention that comes with that is not a distraction for Eala, it is fuel. Querrey put it plainly. She was unknown until Miami last year, and now she has to play on center court wherever she goes, regardless of her ranking. That is not the trajectory of a flash in the pan. That is a player who has figured out how to handle pressure and turn it into performance. Jessica Pegula, who beat Eala in the Miami semifinals last year and won Dubai just last week, described her this way. The way she packs stadiums and the way her country gets behind her is something special, and she handles it with a maturity that most players twice her age haven't developed.
Energy like that, you don't get tired, so it was good.
And Alex, so good to have you out here for the first time. How special is that?
Having too much crowd on this or any other tennis tournament is a very good problem to have.
The draw has landed. Sabalenka is the top seed, returning to a tournament she has never won. She reached the final here in 2025, losing to Mira Andreeva. She was runner-up in 2023 as well. Indian Wells is the title that has repeatedly escaped her, and she arrives this year without the match rhythm her rivals have built up over the Middle East swing. Eala, seeded 31st, gets a first-round bye, meaning her tournament begins in the second round when the second round opens on March 6th. If she wins that, the round of 32 follows, and that is where the collision course with Sabalenka becomes real. Analysts from Punto to Break have already identified Eala, Kostyuk, and Ostapenko as the most dangerous potential third-round opponents for Sabalenka and Swiatek, players who could inflict early damage before the tournament even reaches the business end. Eala has faced Swiatek, Gauff, Paolini, Pegula, and Andreeva before. The one notable name missing from that list is Sabalenka. They have never played each other in an official WTA match, The first time could come as early as this week, in the desert on a court, likely filled with Filipino flags, in front of a crowd that will shake the stadium walls. Sabalenka went ballistic when this ranking dropped, and honestly, given everything building toward this moment, you understand why. What Eala is doing isn't just impressive in the context of her country's tennis history, it's remarkable in the broader context of how rarely players make this kind of jump this fast. She climbed over 100 ranking spots in 12 months. She went from never having won a Grand Slam match to reaching the quarterfinals of WTA 1000 events across 2 continents within a single year. She sells out venues that Sabalenka and Gauff cannot fill to the same capacity. She is 20 years old. The question that matters right now isn't whether Eala belongs in the same conversation as the world's best players. She is already in it. The question is how quickly she forces her way into their results. And Indian Wells, starting March 4th, is where we find out if the draw that made Sabalenka go ballistic produces the match everyone now wants to see. If you made it this far, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Eala's Indian Wells debut is coming up, the draw is set, and this channel will have everything you need as it unfolds. Don't miss it.